Okay, so this is going to be a quick overview of the Edenton map for the coming disaster project. There's a lot of information on this map, but I just want to give you a quick overview. So these are all of the buildings. Many of them are labeled that are in Edenton. What we have is, first off, Pacific Ocean is off to the left or to the west, 1 mile away. We also have a scale on this map down here that shows us the size of 1 mile, and essentially these grids that are in pink are the 1 mile blocks as well. You'll notice that we've got A through E on the left hand side and 1 through 4 on the right hand side, across the top. At times it'll be easier to communicate about locations on the map if you use those quadrants like A1 or A4. That makes it much easier for you to discuss and describe, what plans you have or where there may be problems that you need to address in your emergency plan. A few other things, we've got a couple sections. This tsunami risk area, there are highlighted areas in red, orange, and green depending upon the level of flooding from a tsunami. And the risk that is there. These things in red have a higher risk than obviously these in green, and things that are not highlighted are very low risk for any flooding in the tsunami. You can use that information to plan where you might evacuate people to or which areas you may have to worry about being damaged by the earthquake or the tsunami. Here are a similar section on earthquake risks, and we have buildings that are marked as high risk buildings for damage or collapse from an earthquake, and those are highlighted again in red. Medium risk buildings are in orange, and low risk buildings are in green. And so again, there are lots of buildings on this map, and not all of them have been ranked in one characteristic. So every building that's still black is not assessed. That doesn't mean it's, we just don't know. It could be very strong, it could be very weak. It just means it hasn't been assessed. But the ones that are in green and the ones that are in red in particular are ones that you want to pay most attention to. We do have our river, the East River up here in quadrant A4, the top right hand side that shows the direction of our river flow. We do also have multiple fire stations. They are marked with an F. There are 3 fire stations in this town, one down here in quadrant E3, one in the middle of quadrant C4, and one right at the top of quadrant B2. We have our hospital right on the left hand side of quadrant B3, and our police headquarters right next to that as well in B3. Lots of schools. These small squares with crosses on top are churches. The schools are buildings with flags, and the high schools are marked as well. Again, there's lots and lots of housing, lots of things like our power plant, our railroad stations, the malls. All of those things are information that you can use from this map in both developing your plan and assessing any potential issues we have. So if you have any questions about the map, please let me know, and I can help you. But this has just been a general overview of the map of Edenton for the coming disaster project.